Hey, what's up everybody? Hey, so today I have a new video. It's gonna be on the Aristo. It's gonna be nothing crazy. I was researching on YouTube on how to install a sub on the car. So story behind the car, I already have a doubled in like touchscreen CarPlay Pioneer radio, which is super nice that I switched over because when I bought the car, it had a Japanese radio in it. It was touchscreen, it was super nice, but I couldn't convert it back to English. So it was super inconvenient. It didn't connect to Bluetooth. It was definitely an older unit. But today, I'm gonna be installing a new amp and wiring the sub. So I installed the sub when I got the new radio, but the stock amp of the car does not have enough power to push the sub. So it sounds a lot clearer. You can see the sub moving a little bit, but you really can't hear any bass. So today I'm gonna be wiring a new amp. It's a 250 watt amp, nothing crazy, just so I can hear a little bit more bass. And I'm gonna do the whole wiring process and show you how to do it. And also I'm gonna pull the fuse for the original amp because I don't want to remove all that wiring and all that cable. And that way I can leave the amp in there and just not use it, and wire all the new one and make it go smooth. Step, putting the car like halfway in the garage just because it's raining. The weather here in Hawaii has been crap this past week. It's been flooding and it's been a pain in the ass. So yeah, just moving in halfway. And what I'm gonna do first is disconnect the battery because that's sketch. I don't want to blow anything up, that would suck, but yeah. All right guys, so before I do anything, I'm gonna kind of wire the cables on the ground so y'all can understand how everything is supposed to go. So first, the thick cable is gonna go to the battery. So this is how it's supposed to look. This is gonna go to the battery, right? And then this cable comes out there. And then in between here, I'm gonna have to cut this cable about yay, so I can add this little thing where there's a fuse in it. It's just a fuse. So I'm gonna cut the cable here, stick this end of the cable in there, and this end in here. Boom, that goes there. And then this end is gonna go to the positive power. Boom, sweet. Next, the small cable, the black one, this is gonna be your negative. So this is gonna go to the negative portion of the amp, and this is gonna go to any point where you can find ground. This is the ground. So you just find anywhere, make sure you sand it down a little bit so there's no paint, and this is your ground. So that's gonna go to the negative. Boom. Next, you're gonna have the remote cable. The remote cable is gonna be ran with this cable, which I don't remember, the RCA cable. Yeah, I'm retarded. Cool. This is gonna run from the remote, boom, which says on the amp, it says REM, so that's for remote. So tiny one is gonna go there, and I'm just gonna throw it this way so you have an idea, because that's gonna go straight to the stereo. And so are the RCA cables. The RCA cables are gonna connect to the amp and follow through with the remote cable all the way to your radio. So these two are gonna go together. And then lastly, this is gonna go to the sub. So this is gonna wire there and go all the way to the back. Gives you like a base understanding of how everything should work. So now for the next part, you got your fuse in, boom, that's gonna go to the battery, goes to the battery, comes in, and this is gonna go to your amp, which I wanna put under my seat. So now, I'm gonna find the best way to get under here and find a way to pull it out. All right, cool. So what I had to do, I just removed the battery so I had a little bit more room so I can find out where the best place to pull this cable from to go through into the car. So I pulled out the little bottom cap that's down here, and if you see down here, right over there, there's like a little hole right there. And I found out that that should be the easiest place for me to pull the wire through, so I can wire it in here. So I'm gonna do that now. So it was a little tricky finding the right spot, and then finding it through the top too. Like through here, it was a pain in the butt. It's really hard to see down here, but it's located right here in this little area right here. All right, sweet. So I fed the tip of the cable through here, and now it should be coming out of here, which it is, just right about here. So now I'm just gonna pull it. Yeah. Pull as much of that cable in as you can, and I'm just gonna line it up here pretty good so it's not tugging on anything, so it makes my life a little bit easier. As much of it as you can in that little section, so when you get down here, it makes it a little bit easier for you to pull it through. All right, now for the next steps. The next step, you're gonna have to start removing this stuff. And this is, I'm doing it on the Aristo, which is basically the Gs300, except on the opposite side. So it should be very straightforward on how to do it. Like, they should cross over pretty well. If you're doing this on a GS, it should literally be about the same thing. So what I'm using is a prying tool just to pry the sides out. So I don't break anything, even though it sounds like I'm breaking everything. There we go. After you pop that out, you're gonna have this one connection, two exactly. The white one is gonna go in the white, and the black one's gonna go in the black. Pretty straightforward on that. And then that comes right off. So I'm gonna put that back here so it's out of the way. So next, here I have two Phillips on each side. You're gonna have to loosen to get the AC unit out. So I'm gonna grab that real quick, and then go with these two. So boom. This is the worst place to keep your tools, but I keep it there anyway. Boom. And I got an extension on there just because it's kind of far. I don't think you need a 6-inch like this one, but it definitely makes life easier when you're getting in there. And also, don't just like, if you're gonna use power tools, don't just like pull it out hard. You don't want to strip or any of these bolts. Then you got a lot more issues to deal with. And just remember, there's a ground. There's a ground that goes on this side. Remember to put that back in there. Yeah, so after you pop that out, take those two out, you're gonna pry this side right here. You're gonna pry this in here, because this should come right out as well. So there we go, I got a corner out right there. After I get that corner out, there we go, and it pops right out. Good thing to do, you want to move this out of the way so it's easier to come out. My e-brake is on, so I'm just gonna press the unlock, go back, pull it out, and then there's one attachment that's back here as well. You just want to pull that out, really easy to do. And then now I'm gonna get this out the way again. And now after you did that, your car's in neutral, just put it back in park, just so you're safe. And then now, if you look down here, in that portion, all the way down there, there's two 10s, I believe, and that's attaching that's the bottom portion of the radio that attaches everything to here. So I'm gonna pull that out real quick, get the little 10, connect this, then go in here. Just keep your hand down here too, because you do not want to drop these in here. Yeah, this is a pretty long one. There's one, and then you pull the other one. Just keep your hand down there, just so, like I said, you don't drop it in here and it's in the loophole. So now, after you did that, voila, should come right out. It's a little tight in there because there are different connections, but just gotta weasel it out of there, and you're out. Boom. I'm not gonna pull everything too far out because this is a fucking rat's nest of different different cables and stuff. But I'm gonna show you on the radio where you wanna connect the RCA and the remote, right? All right, sweet. So I went and did a little digging, just some research to find out which one was the remote. So the subs are right here. This is gonna be the RCA lines, or that's gonna connect to the amp through the RCA cable, right? And then the remote that's supposed to come with this one, it's this blue cable right here. But since this is what I think it is, I'm not 100% certain, I'm gonna wire the cables through, and then when I'm done and I plug everything else up, I'm gonna take a little piece of this, the little rubber protectant around this, and I'm gonna attach the remote to it. If that turns on the amp, that means that that is the remote, and then I can just wire that blue cable to this line. But since I don't know yet, and I can't because the whole car is unplugged, the battery's off and car's off, it's gonna be really hard to tell. So I'm just gonna wire the cables, find a way to wire them through here, so it's an easy connection when it gets to the amp. And that's gonna be my next step. So what I'm thinking, I'm gonna pull it out through here, and I'm gonna follow it under here, under the console here, and pull it under the seat, because that's where I want it. So let me get to doing that, and then I will guide you on the best options that I found to wire that cable through the dash into the amp. All right, cool. So what I did was, after here, I tucked the cables through this little corner right here, which made it super easy to just feed it down here. And after I fed it there, it's pretty much done. So what I'm gonna do with this, I'm gonna tuck it all the way down here. I'm gonna make a little slit in the carpet right there, and I'm gonna stick it in through the carpet here, because then down under the seat there's an AC port, and that little AC port, there's no carpet around it. I can pull the cables through there, and then that should be very well tucked and hidden and out of the way. So that'll make the installation look good, and you don't see cables everywhere, which make it super annoying. Another thing I did, a tip, I tied the remote cable to the RCA cables, because then I can pull them through there and all three cables come together, because getting this tiny cable through this area would be a pain in the butt. So this is what I did now. Made a little slit in the carpet here. Looks a little sloppy now, but I'm gonna clean it up when I'm done. And then I went under the seat, the back seat. So I went down here and I made another slit right here. So you're probably thinking it's probably gonna suck to get the wires through the carpet and down there. Yes. So I got a metal hanger. I used some electrical tape, taped the wires to this, and I'm gonna use this to feed it down there now and see how that goes, and hopefully it's smooth. All right, so the metal hanger worked great actually. Stuck it all the way in through there and went about that far, but with the slit that I made under it, I was able to pull the cables through. So now I'm gonna pull just the hanger out to give it a little bit more space, and now I'm gonna leave these cables super accessible, so it's easier to pull when I pull it from under here now. So take that tape out. So now it came in like butter. Now it's stuck on the seat a little bit. In here, I'm gonna pull a little bit more. Nothing crazy. You do want to keep just a little slack. And now, scoot the radio over. Now I can just use this little area to tuck the cables in, all nice and pretty. And it's good because you can fit your finger in there and behind it and really just pull it as far up as possible. So here, I'm gonna pull it up under the console. Boom, nice and tucked. And now after, when I get everything tidied up, I'm just gonna super glue the carpet like that. You won't even be able to really notice it. And now we just gotta wire the cables that go to the sub. So this shouldn't be that hard. I think at least should be a lot easier. What I'm thinking is literally just tuck under here. From that side, tuck it under and just feed it all the way through under this plastic piece. And I don't think it should be that hard to get it all the way in the trunk. So I'm gonna start by popping these out. These should come right out. They're just held together by little clips. So, yeah, and they hide a little bit under that this one too. So, clip here, pop, pop, boom. And there's already a cable that feeds back there. So I should be able to run it along with this just fine and pull it out that side. So let's get that going. All right, boys. So I'm gonna tell you, the real MVP is this freaking hanger, dude. It helps me guide everything through. So I pull the cable through here, right? So to hide it behind this, it's really easy. You just gotta pull the seat out a little bit and you can easily tuck it all the way through. So I tucked it all the way in there and I'm gonna guide it from back here. So the metal hanger, some tape, the tip of the wire, and now I pulled the insulation out, and you got to make a little slit on this rubber piece so you can fit the wires through here. That's the easiest way I found it. It's just rubber, so just a little bit, just so you can pull it out. And I'm gonna feed it through right now, just so y'all could have a good idea of how I'm doing it. So I go to the back of the seat right here. I'm gonna tuck it in, tuck the seat back as far in as I can, fit the hanger, and just push the hanger through. It's only gonna go so much, but it should be enough for you to be able to feel it from the inside. So go here, pull this down, pull this out. Oh crap, I ripped it more than I wanted to. Reach your hand in these little corners until you feel the metal hanger. So now I'm gonna stick my hand through here, through a little rubber. I feel the metal hanger. Got it. I'm gonna keep pulling until I get just the cables. And voila. Sweet. Boom. Now that should wire right up, because that's gonna go into your subs right here. Well, my sub, I just have one. But yeah, there's that. All right, guys, let me just show you something so you don't make the same mistake I did. Pulled all the cable through, but it went over the seatbelt, and I don't want that. I'm gonna pull it back out, do the same thing over, but make sure I go under the seatbelt this time, just so you know you do everything right. I don't think that's gonna get in the way, but I know it's there and it's just gonna bother me. All right, guys, so tuck the cable through. I did make a mistake the first time and I went over the seatbelt. It bothered me, so I took it back out, put the cable back under, and just tucked it down here. You can't even see it. And it's still going through here, and it's all the way pulled out in the back. So since Gs300s and Aristos don't have a fuse for just the amp, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna pull out these connections, because these connections you're gonna push in, pull it out, push in, pull it out, and you're gonna tape these. You're just gonna electrical tape them, and if you want, you could tuck them out of the way, move them so it looks pretty, and then you're gonna do the same thing that you just did to these. So you're gonna take this cable, you're gonna split them, pull some of the rubber off to where it looks something like this. Probably prettier, I wouldn't leave it like that, but to where it looks like something like that. And then you're gonna press these in, stick the wiring inside and pull, stick it in and pull. All right, now you're gonna plug it up. I made black right, white left, boom, in there. RCA is connected. Now you got the ones to that goes to the speakers. So your speaker, positive, I wired down there blue positive, black negative. So now I'm gonna split these up and do the same thing that I did in the rear. So split these cables up real quick. Boom, split them. Get this connection. And these, dang, these are tight on there, huh? Boom. Loosen them as much as I can. Loosen both of them. I'm already gonna loosen all these already too, just so it makes my life a little easier later. Sweet. Now that I already split these, I'm gonna do, I did blue as positive, so I'm gonna stick the blue through the positive little area here. Make sure these cables are nice. I like to turn them, twist them a little bit. Just makes it a little bit easier to do. Twist them, make sure that little pocket is open. Shove it as far in there as you can, like that. And then where'd my Phillips go? Then you just tighten it on there. Boom. And that's literally what you're gonna do to the rest of the cables that go on here, except the RCAs, because they're connected. They have like that plug connection, so it makes life a lot easier, honestly. And now let me rotate this one a little bit. Boom. Put it in the little pocket, all the way in there, as far in as you can. Boom. Then tighten that bad boy. Make sure you tighten it real nice, because you don't want these coming off. Boom, tight, sweet. Now for the remote cable, the remote's gonna be the one in the middle right here. It says REM, so that's short for remote. Boom, pull that out. You're gonna have to do the same thing with the cable that you did to the other ones. So you're gonna go here, cut a little chunk of it off. I'd be careful with this one just because it's such a thin cable. You don't want to cut all the way through it. I mean, you have a lot of slack in case you do make that mistake and cut it like that. But better if you don't have to do that. So boom, got that out. Gonna do the same thing, stick it in the little pocket as far in as I can go. Boom, in there. Tighten that bad boy. We're reaching the finish line, thank God. All right, since those are in, I'm gonna go get the positive and the negative cable, and we're gonna do the same thing. So as you saw earlier, got the speakers. Now I wired the remote, the positive and the negative. RCA was already in. And for the ground cable, I went to the front of the seat. There's like a little bolt. I don't know if y'all can see it very well, it's a little dark, but there's this bolt right here. And so I wired it to that bolt. It's pure metal, raw metal, so that should work fine. So now I'm gonna put the battery back in place, plug all this shit in and see if it works. Turn it on, radio should come on. Let's check the amp. See if we get signal to the amp. Ooh, it's blue. Let's go, it's connected. All right, now let's just see if we can get something going, playing on Bluetooth. Let's go to settings. Audio settings. Sub crossover. Okay. Alright, let's see if that's running. going. Let's go.
So now I'm gonna get everything else going, put everything back together, clean everything up, get all the cables out of the way, and then we'll do that.
Sweet. All right, guys, and then also just to regulate your subs and sound and all that stuff, I just go to the settings. I have a Pioneer. They come with like some, not Bluetooth settings, audio equalizer. They have some presets for super bass, powerful, natural, custom. I'm setting mine to powerful. Bass sounds good and it doesn't overdo my speakers. But I set it to that, and so far I enjoy the sound. It sounds good. And yeah, that's that.
All right, guys. So after I put the radio back in, you just gotta do the reverse process of what you did to take it out. Is same shit, really. Now the cables down here, I kind of just cleaned them up, zip tied them together. Trust me, not the best looking thing in the world, but it definitely does its job. The cables are going to be out of the way. And now I'm going to try to find a place to tuck it down here where it looks nice and it's out of the way and the cables don't get in the way of, the seat moving. Pull the ground up. Yeah, just make it look pretty. And then I'm gonna secure it in place. So probably zip ties, or honestly, that's perfect. It slid right under the AC vent. It really won't move much. So yeah, and all the cables are nice and out of the way. The seat is never gonna be this far forward, so I moved it all the way forward. So now it's tucked, it's away. Nothing can really hit it. Found another Japanese coin in my car, which is pretty cool. But now I'm just gonna vacuum this, clean it up, get everything out of the way. And then I'm gonna do the same thing to the cables in the back, because I got a ton of cable here. So I'm just gonna zip tie them together. And tuck it behind the carpet back there. Make it look pretty. So finishing touches. The trim is back on here, the trim is back on here. The carpet is still torn. It was already torn before, whoever wired the last speakers and stuff that was in here. But I am gonna add a little, probably like, try some super glue or something just to keep it shut and tucked. And do the same thing to that little area back there. I think you can see it better from here though. Yeah, the same thing to that little area of the carpet that I slit down there, and that piece of the carpet right there. And then that'll basically wrap it up. All right, guys, install is all done. It can take a little bit. It took me about 2 days just because I had stuff to do yesterday, so I wasn't really able to finish. But it's not bad at all. It takes some time just because you got to pull all the little center console stuff out to, you know, wire the cables back. But afterwards, super clean. I tucked the cable back there, put a little zip tie just so it's out of the way. Everything went back on, looks pretty. Amp is hidden. Everything here looks good. Back to place, radio is in. So it's really not that hard to do. Just a few tips, just a reminder. When you disconnect your original sub, make sure that the cable you disconnect from it, you get some electrical tape, tape it up, do not leave them open because you don't want them to touch, and just deal with some electrical issues. And then number 2, when you wire down the remote and the RCA cable, just make sure that when you wire them in the car,
you do not want the RCA and the power cable, RCA remote and power cable, all three of those together. So that's why I pulled the power cable from this side, and then I pulled the RCA and the remote on this side. A lot of people can wire them straight through here and through the back of the dash to the radio, but if you do that and they touch, you'll have interference and your radio will, like, it'll cut your music off. It'll do some sketchy shit that you do not want to happen. So key is power one side, RCA remote the other side, speaker to the back, ground to the seat, or to wherever you really can find a good place to set the ground. That's gonna wrap up my video for today. If you have any questions, just, you know, shoot a comment down below. Yeah, just don't be afraid to hit me up. I'll be posting more videos next Thursday, so I'm trying to keep it consecutive every Thursday, posting videos. Just get into a routine of it. I've been enjoying doing these videos, and it's an opportunity to, you know, work on my car. So hope you guys enjoy. See you guys next Thursday.